Hey guys, my name is Rays or Tanner. I am the head of operations here at the Flexx Network, and this is Flexx Talk episode 3. I have 3 awesome guest speakers with me today: Crazy Tender, Jack March, and Randy. They can introduce themselves now.
Hey, what's going
guys?
on, everybody?
All at the same
Well,
time.
that worked.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Yes,
Here.
Crazy Tender, you guys should know, is our new CEO. Jack March, you're a gaming director?
I'm, I'm also a TGM partner, and I'm just helping out the Flex Network right now.
Right. And Randy, you are a gaming director as well, right?
Yeah, soon to be uploading stuff to Tunes, also like parodies and stuff. But yeah, for now I'm games.
Yep. All right. So we have a few good topics for today, mostly in the world of gaming. But first, we just wanted to briefly touch. We know we did an update video on this, but we wanted to briefly touch on the fact that Crazy was our new CEO and make sure that everyone knew. So just briefly, Crazy, just talk about what your new duties are and tell us about how you're fitting in at Flex.
Well, I would say at this point in time, my new duties are answering a whole bunch of questions. But I guess my main goal is right now is getting Flex back in order, get us back in a growing status, and then eventually getting us partnered. That's kind of where my head's been since I've taken over this position. So, lots of good things to come.
Awesome, awesome. So, let's get into our first topic. We're going to talk about Ghost Recon Future Soldier, the Tom Clancy game. I'm really excited for this. And Crazy, you out of the bunch, you seem to know fairly good amount about it. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, basically, and I know as much as probably anyone else who is following the forums. It's their next installment. I actually one of my first person shooters was an old Ghost Recon game, so I've always had a secret love for them. But it's from what I've seen, it's not kill death. It's not. It is all about going out and completing the objective. And if I'm not mistaken, all their multiplayer is objective based.
I think it
So,
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that at least once or twice. But with that, the weapons are 100% customizable. I want to say it's in the
I heard that
hundred thousands.
I heard that there were 20 million possible weapon customization possibilities.
Really?
From yeah,
Wow.
from one of the last videos I saw. I mean, seriously, you can change the barrel, you change the trigger, you change the magazines, the ammo, basically anything and everything about this weapon,
Yeah.
to include the skins and things of that nature. So yeah, I mean it looks like they've put a lot into the multiplayer, which is something I don't think they've really done in the past.
Hmm.
So, and of
Yeah.
course you can data hack. So if you don't know what that is, you need to check it out. It's basically where you go up and punch someone in the face and steal all their intel.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this game. I'm predominantly a Call of Duty player, and I'm always looking for stuff to break the cycle and get me into something new and fresh, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Well, it looks like a year. Well, at E3 2010, it was like the first gameplay was introduced, and since then it's got like 2.2 million views on YouTube. And 6 days ago, the mission walkthrough 1 was introduced, and that's got 100,000 views already. So it looks like it's got a fairly big audience, but
Yeah,
we'll just see how it goes.
definitely. I think they're going for kind of a. Part of me wants to say they're almost going for a crossover BF3 COD audience. Just people
Yeah.
that
That seemed kind of cool.
they just want something totally radical. I mean, this game looks intense. I mean, you have like X-ray vision and all kinds of like crazy shit. I mean, it's amazing. Like, it's just
Future
so
for the
different.
reason.
What, Rennie?
It's future for the reason.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
personally, I'm the only noob here about Ghost Recon, but from everything I've been hearing from you guys and everything, I mean, it sounds astonishing what the game's going to turn out to be like.
yeah, yeah, I'm excited. So, I'm definitely getting that, and hopefully we can get some coverage up on Flex on that before
I'm
launch.
pretty sure I'll be able to help out with that too.
Yeah, that sounds excellent. So, let's move on to our next one. The Medal of Honor Warfighter. there was a trailer that was released. Basically, there was the announcement trailer, and then recently there was the new trailer that came out. What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, this game, I don't know. I didn't really think too much about the last Medal of Honor.
No,
but I mean,
I don't think
just
anyone did actually.
No, I mean,
No.
what was it, like Medal of Honor 3 or something like that? I don't know.
It was just Medal of Honor, and
it was? I thought that it was like the third one or something
well,
like
maybe
that.
it was. I know it's a series, but I'm pretty sure they just called it Medal of Honor, and
Okay.
it was
Yeah.
such a plain game that just stole. It tried to take everything from Battlefield Bad Company 2, and it turned it into this like sickening, boring game that was virtually unknown 2 weeks after launch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of stuff about this new one though. It looks completely different than the next one.
does.
I'm sorry, Jack, you were about to say something?
Oh no, I wasn't. It's just this game's been around for quite a long time, I believe, since like the first Medal of Honor was introduced like about 10 years ago. But I'm not sure if anyone really cares about it as much as they do anymore.
No.
It's because there's not the right audience, so I'm not sure it will go down too well.
I don't know. I think they've got a different outreach style now. I mean, I think they're easily going to grab a ton of the Battlefield 3 guys because obviously there's not going to be a Battlefield game this year.
Yeah.
Unlike COD. So and having it use the Frostbite 2 engine from the trailers, I mean, it looks like a really nice game. I hope they get the mechanics right. I hope they don't do what they did with the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
last game, I loved the last game for about a month, and then I couldn't. It was just it got to the point where it was snipers running around with I think they called them the assault. It wasn't assault rifle, but they had battle rifles, and it got to the point where it wasn't even fun anymore, and I haven't turned it on since.
Right.
But I did enjoy it for about a month.
Yeah. I will be keeping my eye on this game though, definitely for sure.
Yeah, I will too.
Yeah, same.
Probably, won't make my decision until I see some hardcore multiplayer gameplay and campaign gameplay, but
Okay.
so we've reached our conclusion on that topic, and now we'll move on to our third topic, which is pretty abstract. The BF3 and COD communities, after both of these games have been released, we know that there's a lot of controversy facing these games. I think a lot of it's cooled down now. I think a lot of people don't really care, oh, you play Battlefield? Oh, okay, I play Call of Duty. Oh, okay, whatever, Like, it's not the controversy that it was before, but there's still the competition, and knowing that there's not going to be a Battlefield game this year and there will be a Black Ops 2 of some sort, where do you think these communities are going to go? Do you think that this huge fan base that Battlefield 3 has built up is kind of going to fizzle out because all this hype has disappeared? I don't know.
I hope not. That's
Because, I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm right, Battlefield 3 brought all kinds of new fans to the series. I mean,
Oh yeah.
wasn't it profit-wise a record-breaking Battlefield game?
I think it was #1 game of the year at E3. So
Yeah, it was, and I
mean,
think
it
I
beat
think
I think it's the first game in a while that's beat Call of Duty.
yeah. Well, I mean, money-wise, it didn't, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But I think within its own series, it was hugely successful, and it brought tons of new players into a new community. Are
Mhm.
they gonna stray? I mean, or are they gonna?
I wouldn't think so because for people, you have, I guess you could say, two parts of like a community, Call of Duty and Battlefield. You have the people who are on the YouTube side of it, which are like me and you guys and everybody that's viewing this pretty much. You have the people that are on the YouTube side of things,
Right.
and then you have just the kind of the regular players. The regular players,
The average Joe player that just
pretty much the average Joe. And I have a good feeling that they're going to stick around probably longer because they don't know what goes on, I guess you could say, behind the scenes of everything and what everybody actually thinks. They won't have to deal with any of the, I guess you could say, drama, if you could see my air quotes, between different games and, battles and stuff like competition. But also, something else that I'd actually like to disagree with you on is the fact that you said that the whole controversy between Modern Warfare 3 and Battlefield has been calming down. I actually think it's at its highest point, I guess you could say.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been seeing, I mean, I watch about half of my subscriptions are Battlefield, and then the other half are Call of Duty. And all this back and forth, all I'm seeing now is, I mean, you guys may or may not heard of the YouTuber iPwn for Hire, or Pwn Star as he's normally called, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the past two videos he did, other than one today, the two we did yesterday were just about all these problems that everybody is starting with, that Call of Duty is bringing onto Battlefield, because Call of Duty the community sees competition, they would try to eliminate it. And I personally switched from the Call of Duty community to the Battlefield community as soon as the game came out, because I was in love with it. And I actually think that the community at Battlefield 3, the whole Battlefield community, is way nicer. I don't know, it's just different in a better way than the Call of Duty one. And it's been, we're really small, though, that's the thing. Everybody is trying to eliminate us why we're small, and we're growing a lot, but there's also the thing wrong with trying to persuade people to play Battlefield and join, I guess you could say, be on the Battlefield community, is the fact that, no offense, but we don't want the same camping and all that. I mean, not camping, but the stuff that goes on a Modern Warfare 3 pub match should go on a Battlefield pub match. So,
well, yeah, but you have to understand that that's not necessarily the fault of the well, it is the fault of the game, but it's not something worth blaming, because these games are incredibly different. They play different. They're logically made up different. They're organized different. You play these games differently, and
it's actually part of my point too, because the games are played differently, yet one community, the Call of Duty community, is trying to make Battlefield play differently because they're not used to how Battlefield plays, so they're trying to change it.
I mean, they're used to a different reality, and they come into something completely new, and they go with what their comfort zone is.
Mm-hmm. And they try to change it too. And with the last patch that came out about 2 weeks ago, I'd say, I mean, I honestly think that everybody, I felt like it was a Call of Duty patch. I mean, I just feel like everything, for some reason, got worse. And it's because we probably hauled over a bunch of Call of Duty players that complain about, I'm not pointing out anyone in particular, but maybe you are, some people are, some people aren't. But we brought over a bunch of these Call of Duty players that complain about everything and always have to be worrying about stuff. And what they did was they complained about stuff in the game. And Battlefield listens to their community. They're gullible per se. They do anything that the community wants them to do. And they ended up changing the game. I get my opinion for the worst, and I'm not the only one who has that opinion. So,
Jack or Crazy, you guys wanna?
Well, it's can't really think what to say. I got my Xbox, which I don't play on anymore, I play on the PC, 2 years ago, and the first ever game I got was Call of Duty game. And I'm better at playing Call of Duty than Battlefield, and I don't think the whole Call of Duty going to Battlefield will last long, because most, I'm not just using this as a stereotype, but most of the Battlefield players are more experienced because you're in a more harsh environment, because everyone can get a kill in Call of Duty, and that's not always the same in Battlefield. So
exactly.
Yeah,
I can attest to that.
Very true.
So it's not when the next Battlefield game comes out, I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but
I feel like what Call of Duty tries to do every year is it tries to appeal to it appeals to everyone from the noob to the pro, and I think that's been their goal. I mean, I think I could even find a quote somewhere where one of the developers has said, "We want you to be able to come in here and be successful on day one." But whether it's a bad thing or a good thing, I think on the Battlefield side, I feel like it's a very unfriendly and almost unhelpful basis for when you. It's so different and it's so harsh, as you were saying. It's almost
the game's
like
not the players.
Yeah, it's almost like it just slaps these poor kids into shape. It's like, well, screw you. This is our game, and you're going to learn how to play it. We're not going to help you. Like, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But it's an interesting contrast between the two communities and how they play.
Yeah. Well, that's something else too. That Call of Duty players are trying to change the Battlefield 3 game because they I kind of like the idea of how Call of Duty tries to appeal to all of their players, but you can't appeal to everybody without making one person not happy about it. I mean, they try to appeal to the bad people, like you said, the noobs, whatever you want to call them. What do they do? I mean, they put in what? I don't know. I don't play Modern Warfare 3 that anymore, but I mean, they put in Last Stand, Dead Man's Hand, Martyrdom. They brought that back. They brought back. I mean, they did all this stuff. But what that does is they make the people that are good and have always been good work even harder and still not get any of the praise that they deserve. While in Battlefield, you actually kind of have to work. Like, when I first played, I mean, I wasn't good the first game. It took me a while to get good, but that's kind of the whole point of a game is to get better. You play it first day, and it's easy and all that, and you're already getting these high scores. I mean, it gets boring after a while.
Yeah.
And then when you actually become the good player and you see what you did to everybody else, and now you see what you're going through, I mean, it's just not right. I mean,
right.
That's just my opinion, but
kill streaks in Call of Duty kind of make the player believe they're amazing, but it's not that's a thing that everyone can get with 1 day of playtime now. They can get it every match. It just depends. If there's a clan on the other team or something.
I wouldn't say that every match someone would be able to get, per se, an Osprey gunner or a Moab for saying that. I don't know. I think we're probably going to wrap this up. Jack or Crazy, since it's mostly been me and Randy, do you guys have any finishing thoughts on this?
I can see that Randy is diehard BF3, and honestly, my opinion on this one is, and I don't care. I own both games. I'm better at COD than I am at BF3, mainly for some of the reasons that Randy said, when he was talking. But my thing is honestly, I feel bad for the BF3 guys just because of the fact that they don't get a good game this year. COD is relentless about dropping one every year, so that means every year we have something new to play. So, I like Battlefield 2, and and I feel for those guys for Battlefield 3 because no matter how great a game is, it gets old after a time. So I think a 2-year break for the Battlefield series is not good for the gamers out there. So my heart goes out to them.
I guess we'll see where it goes.
So yeah, with that, we'll wrap up this 3rd episode of Flexx Talk. Thank you for listening, guys, and thanks for coming, Crazy, Jack, and Randy. It's been a great conversation.
Yeah, same with you too, man.
And we'll wrap this up. Thanks for watching.